Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Fallen Badge. Today, the murder of Officer Richard Houston, Mesquite Police Department, Texas. Officer Houston was 46 years old. He had 21 years on with the Mesquite Police Department. Now, he was married. He had 2 daughters and a son. His father had previously worked with the Mesquite Police Department. Now, the majority of the information for this episode is going to come from the Court of Appeals, 5th District of Texas. It's 1:40 p.m., Friday, December the 3rd, 2021. Mesquite Communications gets a 911 call regarding a disturbance in the 1500 block of South Beltline Road. It's at a grocery store. Now, the suspect in this case, he was there in the parking lot with his friend girl. They were co-workers. Evidently, there was more to it than just co-working. Now, while the two are sitting there in the parking lot, the suspect's wife and his daughter pull up in a white pickup truck. Now, the suspect, he's driving a burgundy pickup truck, and the girlfriend's in a black little SUV. Now, when the suspect saw the wife and the daughter pull up, he drove off the lot with the girlfriend with him. But then they came back a little while later, because the girlfriend had to go pick up her son. So she gets out of the suspect's truck and she gets into her little black SUV. Well, the wife and the daughter evidently had went too far because they pulled back up and blocked the girlfriend's vehicle in. They got out and started banging on her windows. So the girlfriend, she calls the police. Now, the suspect, he left the scene and evidently drove to the house and then came back. Now, the police are theorizing he went to the house to get a pistol. Now, the suspect, when he pulls back in, he parks 2 spaces down from where the girlfriend's vehicle is and where his wife and daughter's vehicle are parked. So now the girlfriend's standing in the car and the wife and the daughter are raising Cain. The suspect, he's gotten out of his truck, and of course he's getting a tongue lashing from his wife and the daughter. Now, it's about this time the suspect tells his wife that it's over. And the wife, of course, she gets to screaming about that too. Now, Officer Houston, he pulls up about that time. So the suspect, he heads back to his pickup truck, gets in it. Now, you'll see from the body cam and dash cam video that Officer Houston initially talks to the daughter and then the wife walks up. Well, he notices the pickup truck backing out. He doesn't know what's going on, so he goes over there and he taps on the side of the truck, tells the driver to pull back in. The suspect does so. Officer Houston is standing there at the left rear area of the burgundy pickup. Now, while he's standing there, the suspect opens up the door and he gets out shooting. He fires multiple rounds at the officer. Now, the daughter would later testify she saw her daddy had something in his hand, something black, which of course was going to be the pistol. And she's trying to help the officer, and she says the officer's having difficulty in breathing. Now, Officer Houston's able to crank off some rounds. He does not hit the suspect, but then the suspect puts the gun to his head and shoots himself. Now, for whatever reason, the wife picks up the pistol. I don't know if she was going to shoot the girlfriend or what she was going to do, but the police have gotten there and they tell her to drop it, and she does so. Now, they start CPR on Officer Houston. They put him back in a squad car and they take him to the hospital. Now, one of the rounds struck Officer Houston in his Kevlar vest. One hit him in the leg, and one of the rounds hit near his collarbone. Now, the bullet hit the collarbone, ricocheted down into Officer Houston's heart and through his lungs, and then it exited out his lower back. So in effect, Officer Houston was dead there on the scene. Now they transported the suspect to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the head, self-inflicted. Now the suspect, as they seem to do, he survived. It's unfortunate that his inability to shoot himself effectively didn't extend to Officer Houston. Now they determined later that Officer Houston fired 4 rounds. None of them hit the suspect, as I mentioned. One of the rounds struck the rear of the suspect's truck. They couldn't find the other 3 rounds. They don't know where they went. Now they would later say in court the suspect fired 4 rounds. Now when Officer Houston arrived at Baylor University Medical Center there in Dallas, doctors said he was non-responsive, he had no pulse and no brain activity. Now they did perform some resuscitation measures, but the doctors determined that Officer Houston was not going to survive these wounds. He was pronounced dead at 2:11 p.m. Medical examiner for Dallas County said Officer Houston died as a result of injuries sustained from gunshot wounds to the trunk and extremity. Since this time, the suspect went to trial. He was found guilty of capital murder and sentenced to life with no parole. Officer Richard Lee Houston II. End of watch, December 3rd, 2021.